What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past few days, where we do have some big topics to discuss. Firstly, in regards to that reinforcement of the left winger, right now Rashford, Luis Diaz still remain top two priorities. We are waiting now for Luis Diaz to tell Liverpool that he wants to join Barcelona and leave the red side of Merseyside immediately. Nkunku and Bryan Zaragoza are coming in as alternative options in case we don't get Rashford or Diaz. We're looking out as well and exits Romeu, Pau Victor, and Ake Peña, very advanced with their exits after Torre's official move to Mallorca. And of course, Ter Stegen as well, who had a big meeting with Hansi Flick yesterday. We have all the aftermath of it and what happened yesterday in the training session, which is absolutely huge in regards to Ter Stegen's future. Frenkie de Jong's renewal is very much on track as well. He has appointed Zahavi, the best Asian friend of Joan Laporta, to be his new agent after sacking his former agent Ali Dursun, and now his renewal is getting closer than ever before. And finally, we have some big updates around the club as well. Logistically, FFP, big updates around the Espai Barca project, returning his spot at Camp Nou, and also evolving around Lionel Messi. His farewell tribute match could be on the inauguration of the opening of this private Camp Nou in full capacity. There are talks and discussions on that, and we'll provide you guys with all the updates, of course. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash the like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. Into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is by far the best replica jersey website on the market, and it's not even close. They have a variety of different items at the absolute best prices. They sent me two kits recently. First one is the retro Barcelona kit, the home kit, which I'm currently wearing right now, and also as well the second kit for that season in the blue edition. Oh my god, like, the stitching is fantastic, the quality is, superb. Feels like I have the actual, original kit for a fraction of the price. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get 10% off your order. That's BOY. Use it at checkout, and all orders above $80 as well will receive free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past few days. The first topic that we're going to discuss, of course, is Barcelona's main priority in signing a left winger this summer. We have an update on the situation of course, the two current priorities, the two current targets in Luis Diaz and Marcus Rashford. Firstly, on Diaz, Fernando Polo and Rashford Deportivo came out saying that Luis Diaz is waiting a few days before asking Liverpool to let him leave, with Barca as his preferred destination. Barcelona has not given up and are closely monitoring his next move. Inside the club, it's believed that Diaz is still pushing to join the Spotify Camp Nou. Since the beginning, his dream has been to wear the Blaugrana shirt, and he still holds on to that matter. Barcelona are watching closely to see how and when he will make his request to leave. Also, Fernando Polo came out saying the Colombian is ready to request his departure in the coming days. At Barcelona, they're waiting to see how strongly he will push at Liverpool. His camp says he will go all in because he does not want to miss the train to the Blaugrana Cup. So what the entourage of Diaz is telling Barcelona is that Diaz wants Barca. They're going to ask to leave Liverpool in the next few days, and they're going to do all they can in their entire push to make this move a reality. So we'll wait and see on that. In regards to Rashford, Plettigol of Sky Germany has come out saying that Barcelona want to try again for Rashford, and they are prepared to go all in as he is currently the club's top priority. A few weeks ago, Luis Diaz was the priority number one, but Liverpool rejected the approach, and now Rashford is the clear number one target. Talks are ongoing. Green light from Hansi Flick has already been given absolutely a few days ago. So they're saying now that Rashford is actually more of a priority than Luis Diaz. Luis Rojo of Marca came out saying the Rashford deal has opened, with Manchester United now willing to accept a loan deal. We all knew that was coming. They want to include a mandatory purchase option, but Barcelona is still evaluating that condition, and Barcelona has made far more progress thanks to conversations with Arturo Canales, who is handling the current operation. Also, Fernando Polo came out saying that Marcus Rashford is eager to resolve his future as soon as possible. The player would like to do a good part of preseason with Barcelona to boost his chances of starting strong. By rejecting a significant €40 million offer from Saudi Arabia, Rashford has shown he still wants to wait for Barcelona. The Englishman dreams of wearing the Blaugrana shirt. He's high on the club's target list and is even willing to lower his salary to fit with Barcelona's FFP limits. United, who no longer count on him, could let him leave on loan with a €30 to €40 million buy option. But here's the kicker. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Barcelona has not yet made a decision on whether to move forward with Rashford or not. The question isn't about the loan or permanent transfer. There have been no talks with club to club, Barca and United so far. Everything depends on the club's internal choice regarding which winger they want. Rashford, meanwhile, still dreaming of joining the club. So Fabrizio Romano there is basically saying that right now Barcelona have options, of course, for the left wing. They have not 100% identified and chosen their target. So in the Catalonia we're hearing it's Luis Diaz. From those neutral reports, whether it be Germany or Fabrizio Romano, they're all saying that Barcelona have not made that choice. They say, you know what, he's number one. Let's go all guns blazing for him. So that's, of course, a very interesting tale in my opinion. Now, also a little bit of a kicker here. Luis Araujo did mention that the reality is that Barcelona continue to work on both deals, Luis Diaz and Rashford, with caution. There's no real urgency as of right now, but signing both Luis Diaz and Rashford can be ruled out. For now, it's just a matter of waiting. And what we're waiting for, we're waiting for Luis Diaz to push for a move internally away in Liverpool to, of course, Barcelona. So wait and see what happens with Luis Diaz. First, again, we're not going to be going for Rashford, in my opinion, until Luis Diaz is 100% not going to happen. As long as there's a sliver of a chance, I think Barcelona will wait their time and go for Luis Diaz. But the Rashford option is there. It is lively. And also be wary of Bayern Munich's activity as well. They will, of course, have a bit of influence on what we do, because they're also looking for a left winger as well. But for now, the club are going to wait for Luis Diaz to push internally at Liverpool to leave, and then they're going to go for him. If he does not do that, Rashford is a fallback option. But again, Barcelona have not had any talks with Manchester United whatsoever. They, of course, talked with Liverpool a little bit for Diaz, hence that approach being rejected. I think, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, before Nico came to Barcelona and had that meeting. So there have been some stuff there. So we'll see, but it's still quite clear. Diaz number 1, Rashford number 2. We're now waiting for Luis Diaz to talk with Liverpool. Now, for the first time in a while, we are hearing some new names in regards to Barcelona's reinforcement priority in the left wing position. We, of course, heard this whole entire summer, Nico Williams, Rashford, and Luis Diaz. But now 2 new names have emerged recently, and Miss Barcelona not really progressing well with either Rashford or Diaz as things currently stand. Firstly, Plettigol has come out saying that Christopher Nkunku is one of the alternative names on Barcelona's list if the Rashford deal does fall through. Plettigol has been very much saying that Diaz is either going to go to Bayern Munich or no one else. That's why Rashford is number 1. And if Rashford is number 1, that means for Nkunku, in his eyes, according to his sources, is number 2. And in Spain, they are reporting that Bryan Zaragoza is an option. There have been contact with Barcelona and with Zaragoza's camp to understand the situation here. According to Candacer, this is something that is done routinely and does not mean that he's a priority target or even a real one. Many La Liga clubs are also showing interest. Do not forget, Bryan Zaragoza, currently a player of Bayern Munich. He was on loan last season at Osasuna, and his future at Bayern Munich is very much in the air, since Bayern Munich are looking for a left winger and they have a left winger. How ironic would that be? How much of twat would we be to fund Bayern Munich getting a Luis Diaz or Rashford and taking Zaragoza off them? Now, Zaragoza was caught dropping a like on an Instagram post saying that Barcelona won. Zaragoza himself liked the post, the exclusive that apparently came in from El Chiringuito. So he's very much looking like he's interested in the move. But wait and see. Again, once Rashford and Diaz are 100% dead, we can talk about maybe alternative options. I don't want to mention them too much. Imagine going from Nico Williams to Bryan Zaragoza. Fucking hell, man, like that's just crazy. But we'll see how things do turn out. Again, at this point, we're getting to like these media targets. I rather trust the youth, whether it be Roony Bardghji, Tony Fernandez, Dani Rodriguez. You can even chuck Gili Fernandez out wide, Ibrahim Diarra. I'm reaching that point now. When we get to these kind of scrubs, not worth my time, in my opinion. But we'll see what the club decide, as they do have some alternative options if they don't get their main option in the left wing position. But a signing from Barcelona that has in fact been made official is the signing of Roony Bardghji, which again has been... Well, Barcelona have done with this is very, very strange. They tweeted about him on the Barca Athletic account, deleted it, then posted it on the first team account, deleted it, then announced him officially on the Barca Athletic new signing, deleted it, then post him on the first team account. I don't know what they're doing, but in the official statement for Barcelona, they have classified Roony Bardghji as a Barca Athletic player. Of course, the pictures of him in preseason for medical checkups on Saturday came out before his official announcement. I believe it was yesterday on Monday, but they haven't confirmed, of course, the 2 million fee contract until 2029. So Roony Bardghji, official first or second signing for Barcelona this summer. Hopefully a few more to come. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to be leaving Barcelona over the past few days. From an official signing, we now have an official departure. The club confirmed yesterday in an official statement that they have indeed sold Pablo Torre to Real Mallorca. In the statement, Barcelona did confirm we have a buyback option and a percent of any future sale. No mention of the initial €5 million fee, waiting for further confirmation from the media, whether Barcelona, not announce it, because Barcelona are like that. They just don't announce any numbers, any percentages, any figures anymore whatsoever, and that's their prerogative, whatever. But again, from the media, we're hearing €5 million fee, buyback option. We're hearing around 25-30 million euros. Then the percent of future sale, looking at a very, very high 50%. So we'll wait and see on those official details on the media, hopefully in the next 24 to 48 hours. But the move has been made official. He's already signed his contract, pictures and everything with Real Mallorca. Torre is going to be playing there next season, and he will be playing against us in the first match of the La Liga season. Now, with the sale of Pablo Torre being finalized, the club are looking for some more quicker deals, quicker exits to get over the line in the next few weeks. According to Luis Rojo of Marca, Romeo and Pau Victor are expected to leave Barcelona. Romeo is not in Flick's plan, and Pau Victor could stay only if the club fails to sign an attacker. And Nkunku knows he's not in Flick's plan either and is seeking a new club but hasn't found one yet. Of course, all three of these players have been for preseason medical checkups, have been in the training session yesterday as well. Also, Sports, Carlos Monfron came out saying that Barcelona are now focused on finding the departures of Nkunku, Romeo, and Pau Victor. For now, all three remain with the squad while awaiting concrete offers. So none of them have anything on the table as of right now, other than their agents to find clubs and then present them to Barcelona. In the case of Romeo, anybody can take him for any price. Pau Victor, probably the club want to have some sort of control in his future. I think in Nkunku, with only 11 in his deal, the club will just try and get rid of him as quickly and as effectively as possible. So wait and see how things turn out for these three French players, but the club do want to get rid of them, I would say, before the team flies out on the Asia tour. I don't think they'll be in the squad list unless they really push to stay and have no concrete offers whatsoever. We've seen, of course, a lot of times players going to the preseason tour, then leaving midway through to go complete their move. So it's not too normal, but they all three are not in it. That means their moves are very, very advanced. So we'll see. But again, some French players are kind of the priority right now for Barcelona to get off the wage bill. Now, a big departure that is expected from all parties and hopefully will progress soon, as we have had big advancements over the past few days, is the future of the current first team captain of the club, Marc-André Ter Stegen. Now, of course, he has returned to Barcelona as with the rest, and we, of course, have been waiting for him to have a meeting with Flick, and that meeting did take place, and Hansi Flick told him that he will start the season as the third choice goalkeeper for Barcelona and has recommended him to find a new club. Ben Aid came out saying that Ter Stegen is currently only thinking about staying at Barcelona and is determined to showcase his ability and role in the team. Rashford and Ferran Martinez Mundo came out saying that Flick has informed Ter Stegen that he would not be part of his plans for the season and would be behind Joao Garcia and Szczesny. Ter Stegen acknowledged the measurement but made it clear his intention to stay and fight for his place. Ter Stegen accepted the presence of a strong competition and stated that his willingness to compete for the starting role, as he'd done it in previous seasons. After recovering from a serious injury, he feels confident in his form. Personal reasons also support Ter Stegen's decision to stay, including being close to his children and his new partner, who is Catalan. Now, PR. This is all PR. This is what Ter Stegen is saying to the media, so we Barca fans get scared, or we Barca fans get worried, or he's sending a message from the media to the club. Oh, I don't want to stay. I love competition. Love the city. My kids are here. My GF is here. I'm a happy camper. But we all know that shit is gonna hit the fan real soon. And it did. Yesterday, in the first training session of the new season, the Barcelona first team captain was not present. Ter Stegen himself chose not to participate. According to Candacer, Ter Stegen, his case is now causing tension. He is angry at the club and has no intentions of leaving, even though he's been told by Flick he won't play. Matt's agent is looking for a new team in case he does change his mind. The club believe that he will end up leaving, but they also think they will have to pay a compensation since he has a very high salary. This is also another objective to wipe out the surplus wage in their books. So Ter Stegen is saying, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. Barcelona are saying, leave. His agent's like, you know what? I'm going to look for clubs in case you change your mind. Why? Because Barcelona had the upper hand. You have a World Cup season coming up. You need to play if you want to be the German number one. You've been waiting for that German number one spot for years and years and years due to Neuer's fantastic longevity. But as I mentioned in yesterday's first training session of the season, this twat decided not to participate. Having been from AES, came out saying that Ter Stegen stayed in the gym and did not step onto the pitch at the Ciudad Deportiva like the rest of his teammates. Ter Stegen's decision not to take it in the field suggested that there is a tug of war right now that has begun with an ending that is currently hard to foresee. Ter Stegen has made it clear that his intention is to stay at the club and compete with other goalkeepers from the starting spot, even though Flick has already warned him that he will start the season as the third choice goalkeeper. For me, this is not a tug of war. This for me shows Ter Stegen's weakness. He already not going to plane for the Inter semi-final, didn't have the fucking balls, the cojones to do a speech after his disaster class against Villarreal in the last game at the Olympic Stadium. This man is a pussyo. That is the situation. He is staying out. He's saying, oh, I'm going to stay. I don't mind staying here and not earning a wage. You can crack on. I think the next move now for Barcelona is to give Joao Garcia the number one goalkeeper. Take Ter Stegen's number off of him. Really put him in a dilemma. Like I told you guys a few months ago, a few weeks ago, a few days ago, I will say it again. I am very confident that Ter Stegen will end up leaving. It's just about how. Do we pay him? Will it be a fight? Will he finally accept his role? Will Barcelona force him out? Send him to the stands? Right now, we have a huge advantage. There's a World Cup year. He wants to, of course, play in that World Cup. We can say to him, we're going to play you in the stands for the whole season. You can leave. If you want to stay home with your Catalonia girlfriend and your kids, earn your wage and not play, crack on. You have a valid contract. We will pay you. But at the end of the day, if you care about your career, to play the World Cup, which you haven't done yet, of course, 2018 and 2022, you were sat on your arse on the bench watching one of the best goalkeepers of all time. This is now your best chance. And I think Barcelona have to do something now to really put. I think we're 1-0 away. I think that nail is giving Joao Garcia his number one goalkeeper shirt. Not giving Ter Stegen a number, maybe even degrading him to like number 25 or 28 or 30, whatever the next goalkeeper number is, because Barcelona right now have more of an upper hand than Ter Stegen. If there was not a World Cup year, we would be screwed. But the fact it's a World Cup year, the fact that Ter Stegen has at least semi ambition, we do have good cards to play here. But how embarrassing for the captain of the club to be that much of a pussyo and to not train with the first team on the first day of preseason. Embarrassing. And again, not surprised because we saw very much good examples of this from the tailor end of last season. So wait and see what happens. Again, Flick told Ter Stegen, you're gonna be third choice. Go look for a new club. You're not gonna be playing much. Ter Stegen's it's like a kid when you take away the candy. He sits there like this. I want the candy. I want the candy. Then he'll go. Then he'll forget about it and move on. Same thing here with Ter Stegen. So wait and see. All about time now. Once we get probably near the tail end of the La Liga starting season, and maybe if a top team is looking for at least a semi-decent goalkeeper, that could maybe make the wheels move quicker. But I'm very confident Ter Stegen will leave. Same with the club as well. We'll wait and see how this situation does unfold. Now, a player's future right now that's very much in limbo is the future of Andreas Christensen. Rosaledo Deportivo came out saying that Christensen, who joined the club free in 2022, has 1 year left on his contract with a high salary, making a candidate for a transfer, although the club is close to meeting the 1-1 rule FFP ratio. Further wage reduction are needed to pursue signings like Luis Diaz and others. While the club from Arabia has shown interest, Christensen wants to stay, and Flick wants to decide whether to include him in his plans or to sideline him and do something with Ter Stegen, like send him to the stands to force him out. I think Christensen is going to get a chance, and I think if he gets the chance and he stays fit, I think he will take it. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I think fully fit, all of our center backs, Christensen starts alongside Kubarsi. That is how good of the talent he is, just down to really mainly his fitness. I think if he gets that chance, he gets on that plane to Asia, plays a little bit, he can prove himself if he stays fit. I'm very much on the fence. If he does well, great, we'll keep him. If not, you can move him on. But he does have a lot of control in this scenario because he does have 1 year left on his contract. He can just sit and wait for free, leave for free, get that big sign-on bonus, or he can leave now and help Barcelona out, whatever really suits his fancy. So we'll see how things do turn out. But again, Christian's future will probably be determined, I would say, in the next week or so during preseason training. Now, players going to be having probably one of the biggest seasons of his career this upcoming season is Ronald Araujo. Rashford Mundo Deportivo came out saying that another big decision for Flick concerns Araujo. He has requested to leave for Juventus back in last January, but due to Indigo's injury, a pressure from his teammate and the coach, Araujo stayed and renewed until 2030 run. However, he included a release clause that will allow him to leave for 60 million euros between July 1st and 15th, which of course today is the last day. When asked recently if he wanted to stay at Barcelona, Araujo said, "As far as I'm concerned, yes." Also, when he was doing preseason medical checkups, he was drinking the Bryan bottle, said this is going to be me next season in my prime. With Barca and Indigo firmly the first choice pairing right now, Araujo currently is Flick's choice. Araujo is currently Flick's third choice center back, but with Barcelona needing to sell key players signed Luis Diaz, Flick must decide whether Araujo is untouchable or sellable. I think it's quite clear at this point that he's gonna stay. I don't think all this persona about we need to make a big sale to get transfers in is not a reality whatsoever. I think this is just the media just trying to sell papers, get some news and words flowing and talking. Again, if someone comes in and offers more than 50 for Araujo, we'll take it. But I think if someone offers at 30 or 40, it won't really tap the club up that much. And I think Araujo on his side is very adamant he wants to stay. And then selling someone for lower than his release clause 6 months, 7 months after renewing him doesn't really happen too often as well. I think Araujo will be here next season. Whether he'll be the first team captain or not will be a different story, but he's going to have, I think, a do or die season this upcoming season for Barcelona. He's to perform well, not cost us in big games, but it all, of course, comes down to him and his performances. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. We only have one update, and that is on the contract renewal of Frenkie de Jong, which is advancing very, very well. Of course, over the past few weeks, I told you guys that Frenkie de Jong has sacked and fired his long-term agent, Ali Dursun, because he was stalling the deal. And guess who Frenkie de Jong hired? Laporta's best mate, Vini Zahavi, as his new agent, and that of course now has sped up the renewal process dramatically. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that talks over a new deal for Frenkie de Jong are expected to progress in line with Barcelona's plans. Discussions are ongoing with both parties keen to finalize the contract as soon as possible. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that once Frenkie de Jong rejoins Barcelona, the club plans to resume contract talks with him face-to-face. Deco, the sporting director, and Hansi Flick have both been in contact with him, aimed his issues with his agent, and together they will try to lay the groundwork for a new agreement. Both trust him for the second season of the project. Laporta also supports his renewal and Deco and Flick's request, and because his value as a player, wanted to avoid risk of losing him for free in 2026. The club believes there's still time to reach a deal given de Jong's desire to stay and strong second half of last season. So again, very, very key here. Even for FFP, it'll be absolutely huge, and keeping an important and integral part of the team is also needed. Of course, like I talked about with the Araujo, with this kind of big sale, Frenkie de Jong's name has been thrown in the mix as well, saying that Barcelona need a sale. Flick has to decide who he wants to sell. He could sell Frenkie de Jong with 1 year left in his deal. Maybe Herman Lopez is kind of second string to Dani Olmo, or an Araujo, stuff like this. So his name is going to be thrown in the hat, even though he has only 1 year left on his deal, which we are of course actively working on to renew. But again, Frenkie training his agent, talking with Barcelona, these are all 100% positive signs. Let's discuss some of the news starting Barcelona over the past few days. First up, preseason. Of course, the players came back on Sunday for medical checkups. Yesterday on Monday, they had their first training session. We have some updates around preseason. First is coming in from Rashford of Mundo Deportivo, saying that Barcelona's high defensive line was effective early last season, contributing to club success alongside a strong attack, but opponents adapted over time. Flick now aims to reduce defensive risk, making backline improvements a key focus before the August 1st. Making backline improvements a key focus before the August 14th season debut. Of course, they talked about this around March and April time in his press conferences, and now hopefully we can see it in effect. Also, Barcelona will tour in Asia for the first time in 6 years. We'll have, of course, a lot of B team players coming with us. Signing, of course, of Roony Bardghji will be included as well, and Flick and Deco will finalize the list for the team going through to, of course, Asia. The number of academy players may be limited due to the presence of international stars. It's not going to be like last summer where you have a lot of players that play in the Euros, needing that extra rest. We'll have a lot of the big players, probably all the big players, traveling for the Asia tours. That means maybe a bit less youngsters. Now, in regards to youngsters, of course, some of the brightest youngsters that we do have is the Fernandez cousins, Tony and Gili. Sport have come out saying that Barcelona still count on Gili and Tony, but Gili's case is not ruled out in regards to him making a move to, polish his game. A simple loan but maybe the best move Sporting for him from a financial point of view, as well as with a buyback option as well. Andorra, the team at PK, have shown some interest as well, offering them a chance to play regular first team Spanish second division minutes. As I reported earlier, their plans are for Barcelona is to include both the Fernandez cousins in for the preseason squad. After that though, wait and see. I think Tony has a good chance, especially with us, struggling right now to sign a winger, but with Gili, we already have a huge overbooking in that midfield, so a low move might actually be the best option for him. We'll wait and see on that. But of course, with preseason, everything comes down to who comes in on time and who doesn't. For the medical checkups, everyone came in on time except for one player. It's not Koundé, it's Hector Fort. Javi Miguel came out saying that Hector Fort was the only player out of 35 that were called up for the early morning training session medical checkup that showed up late. The situation particularly annoyed Hansi Flick quite a bit. He was reprimanded by Hansi Flick for being late. It's still unknown what the punishment will be, as Flick has planned for the first case of tiredness of the season, but it likely won't go unpunished. So once Hector Fort came in late for the second training session, the media were really keeping track of who was coming in first, second, and third. I think Koundé came in first, like 3 hours early. Then it was like Christensen, I think Chesney came in next, and blah blah blah. You get the idea. But so far, first day back, Hector Fort being late, not a good sign. Finally though, we do have an injury update in regards to preseason players being injured coming in from Mundo Deportivo. In regards to Marc Renewal, he's nearing a full recovery. Gerard Barton will begin with leg training after recovering from his hand injury that he suffered in the under 21 Euros, and Daniel Rodriguez remains in separate training as he continues his recovery from his shoulder dislocation. So we hopefully will have Bernal back soon alongside Marta, but then Rodriguez probably will need a bit more time. Now, one of the biggest updates that we do have in this video is around the return to the Spotify Camp Nou. Of course, the club did confirm we're going to be back there for August the 12th, I believe it is, or whatever it is, for the Joan Gamper 8th. We got some reports earlier on saying that's not looking good for that as well, even though the club announced it, but now there's more positive signs. Franco Rasen Sport came out saying that Barcelona are confident the forecast will be met and for the team presentation to take place at the Spotify Camp Nou. The club is confident of obtaining the first occupancy license, which allows public access to the stadium. However, the stadium's capacity upon reopening on August 10th will not reach the board's maximum projection. The venue is expected to be accommodated around 32,000 spectators, evaluating just over half of the stadium's build. The seats available for fans will be in the south goal and in the first and second tier grand stands. But Mundo Deportivo did bring some good news, saying that Barcelona City Council granted Barcelona the necessary activity and work license to host the Joan Gamper Trophy against Como on August 10th at the Spotify Camp Nou. This marks the first major step towards reopening the stadium. Barcelona had submitted all required documentation well in advance and was confident awaiting the approval, which arrived just in time to avoid the deadline of July 7th. Also now, Barcelona is awaiting the first occupancy license, which will be granted only after the required construction work is complete. By the end of July, if approved in time, the Gamper match can proceed, though the scheduling will be a bit tight. Also, Barcelona executives are in an ongoing discussion with the city council and fire department to finalize the safety access routes for the public. Due to the restriction, the stadium capacity will be reduced between 25 to 35,000, far below the initially planned 60,000. Either the north or south stand is meant to be completely closed, with the final capacity figures to be confirmed within the next week. That for me is quite stupid. Why just having one side of the stadium open? You need a bit of fluidity to have an atmosphere. That for me is a bit stupid. Also, La Liga representatives visited the Spotify Camp Nou last week. They confirmed that everything's on track for the stadium to be hosting its first La Liga game against Valencia on the weekend of September the 13th to 14th. Barcelona informed La Liga officials about safety, access, broadcasting, logistics, while inspecting confirmed the near completion of the temporary press zone and installation of the 475 protected VIP seats in the lower stands. So finally, things are actually coming together for this freaking stadium, which is going to be a very positive thing. And there's also even talk now about Messi's return as well to the Spotify Camp Nou to have his proper send-off. As of right now, it's a big idea in Barcelona, but nothing has been sent to Messi officially, according to Raccoon. There's been no talk between Barcelona and Messi. Messi has not been informed by anything, but the reports is that Barcelona are planning for this case. So wait and see how things do turn out. We can see this big stadium come to full life, come to fruition, and see the return of the greatest human being to ever touch a football, Lionel Andres. One of the big talking points around Barcelona as well is in regards to returning to the 1-1 rule. When will this become a reality? When will this become a factor? And it is getting closer and closer, but we are looking at least the beginning of next month. You can read here all the details about how Barcelona will get there, about money flying around left, right, and center from the VIP seats. Of course, there's also reports coming in on the audit as well that needs to be done. The auditor has to certify certain things to process what needs to be done, but everything is currently on the track for the return the 1-1 rule, and just really comes down to time and effort. I think we're very, very obviously going to be there before the start of the La Liga season. Again, Joel Garcia still needs to be registered. I don't think Roony Bardghji needs to be registered because he's going to be a B team player, but new signs that do come in hopefully before the start of La Liga season as well, like a left winger, maybe a fullback, still need a bit of room. But again, the sale of Pablo Torre, the renewal of Frenkie de Jong, the auditor getting the approval of the VIP seats as well that have been installed legitimately for La Liga to approval as well to get that 100 million in as well. We even have as well a new sleeve sponsor coming in as well. We're doing a partnership with Congo, with the RDC El Cruzado de France. They're going to be on our jersey, going to be like a little bit like a Visit Congo, kind of like what Arsenal had with Visit Rwanda. We're going to get 10 million per year from that sleeve sponsor as well. So again, more and more and more money coming in. Everything is on the right track, and we will be at the 1-1 rule definitely by the end of this window, hopefully as well before the start of the La Liga season. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to the potential departure of the vice president and the right-hand man of Joan Laporta in Rafael Yuste. According to Mundo Deportivo, there have been no contacts right now between Rafael Yuste and Al Nassr. According to reports, Al Nassr really pushing heavily for Yuste to be their new CEO, but Yuste is prepared to travel to Saudi Arabia to sit down with Al Nassr executives and hear the proposal in person. Being one of Laporta's closest allies, he will only consider leaving the club of his life if the offer and conditions were truly irrefutable. For now, he remains focused on supporting Deco and the rest of the sporting department with both player departures and arrivals. Losing Rafael Yuste would be huge. And again, people talk about, oh, Laporta has so many people, in and out of his board, his tenure during his second term. But this is the reality. They're doing such a good job. People come in, throw a truckload of money, and they end up leaving. Like, you can see how passionate Rafael Yuste is with his job and talking to media, videos, celebrations, talking with passion in general assemblies as well. This man breathes and lives the club of his life, and only huge, irrefutable, impossible money to say no will, get him to turn, and not turn in a bad way, but you're getting offered millions and millions and millions. You're like, all right, man, fair enough. But this would be a big, big loss, I must say, for Barcelona, and most importantly for Joan Laporta. Let's hope it doesn't come to fruition, but if it does come to fruition, we know for a fact that Yuste was offered a fat check, and we could be at least semi-proud and semi-happy for him in that fact. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out with Yuste's future, but right now a bit in limbo. He's going to be traveling to Saudi Arabia to meet with Al Nassr's executives and maybe be taking on that role as CEO, but only if the offer is impossible to reject from his standpoint. That was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed. Firstly, on the left winger target, what are your thoughts on all four names now being on the table? You think we'll get either Rashford or Diaz? Secondly, on Ter Stegen, you think he'll get his head out of his arse and end up leaving the club or not? 30 thoughts on the renewal of Frenkie de Jong. And finally, on Messi's return to the Spotify Camp Nou, I think that will actually become a reality with his relationship right now with Joan Laporta, and your thoughts on the Camp Nou renovation and the capacity being a bit lower than we did expect initially. And of course, do not forget to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care. Barca Barca. Yeah.